Hello, my name's Colby Ryan, and I'm here today to make clear the difference between capitalism and socialism. Socialism in today's world has greatly transformed, but is at its roots still the same. Socialism seeks to create an economic system of state ownership and/or worker ownership of the means of production and distribution. In a sense, a government will be controlling and regulating the markets to control which goods and services to create, the production process, the quantities produced, and most explicitly, the sales prices. Our forefathers laid out the Constitution to protect property rights and a man's right to his property and his freedom. Socialism relies on the government effectively monitoring the economy, while capitalism relies on a fluctuating economy based on the supply and demand of the people. Therefore, capitalism is most consistent with our Constitution because the Constitution sets forth the framework of a capitalist society, while socialism needs a framework that allows government ownership and/or cooperation in private sectors. Capitalism is often called the system of greed and corruption. This is not true. I'll quote Milton Friedman. You think Russia doesn't run on greed? You think China doesn't run on greed? The world runs on individuals pursuing their separate interests. In a nutshell, that is what capitalism is. Individuals getting what they want through a system of free enterprise where they exchange a good someone else wants for a good that they want. Free enterprise is often seen as a system for corporate big dogs because people think the only ones benefiting are the big dogs, while in reality, this isn't true either. Let's use Ford as an example. Up until Ford's breakthrough in the factory line, American cars were extremely expensive. Ford's application of the factory line allowed for the average American to be able to afford a car, and the rise of the automobile in America greatly improved the lives of not only families, but gave freedom to women who, in the past, were essentially trapped at home. The factory line is just one of the great many examples of competition and of the profit motive in capitalism. Ford wanted to make a profit, so he decided that he could sell cars to Americans for a profit. He quickly realized he needed to outdo his competition in the car market so that Americans would be more inclined to buy cars from him. By innovation and management of his private property, Ford was able to greatly decrease the production cost of his cars so that he could sell cars much cheaper than any other car manufacturer. Who in the end benefited most from this? The American people. People were not forced into buying cars. It goes back to the concept of freedom of contract. Those people agreed to a simple exchange of economic goods, their money for Ford's car. If at any time they felt cheated or felt pressured into doing something that they did not want, they could back away. So as we see it, capitalism stands to create a market of free enterprise that consists of freedom of contract, competition, the profit motive, and private property. Private property is very important, especially in relation to socialism. Today, private property means simply that you own your property and another person owns their property. Government doesn't own your property. Government can't tell you which items to sell in your store and what price to sell them at and how many you can sell. If government buys into or controls parts of the economy, such as the automobile industry, the government has control over what cars are on the market and what price they're sold to you at. Government control of the economy means that the government chooses who is right and wrong, and who gets money and who goes bankrupt. Government control means no competition. If government owned all the car companies, cars could always be the same price, and there would be no up-and-coming businessman who would be able to take the modern car we have today and add innovation to make the cars cheaper and more reliable. Competition doesn't make those corporate big dogs rich. It keeps money in our pockets and gives us the choice of what product we want to spend our money on. China is often cited as an example of a great socialist country because of its recent economic booms. However, if you look closely, the economic booms are being created by capitalist ideals. Their businesses are using our capitalist society to market their goods. Chinese businesses are able to make items cheaper than we can. Then they sell it to us to make a profit. That's capitalism. Overall, I hope you can see that capitalism is truly the most logical choice for our culture and our economy. We are not a nation of takers. No. We are, and always have been, a nation of makers.